story today, boys and girls, is 7 Blind Mice. And it's written, and it was like illustrated also, written and illustrated by Ed Young. And this is a Caldecott honor book. So it's an award-winning book for its illustrations. People thought that its illustrations were really beautiful. Who's whacking on their desk? Please desist that. Thank you. All right. 7 blind mice. 7 blind mice. One day, 7 blind mice were surprised to find a strange something by their pond. What is it? They cried, and they all ran home. And all you see are their little mouse tails. You don't see anything else there. On Monday, Red Mouse went first to find out. It is a pillar, he said. No one believed him. Pillar. On Tuesday, Green Mouse went to set out. Sorry, he was the second to go.
He's on the thing.
It's a snake, he said. So I remember they can't see it, so they're just going kind of by feel. So he was on it and he said it was a snake. Did it look like a snake when we saw it? Did this look like a snake when we saw it?
No.
Oh, keep it. We're going to keep our predictions in our head. So you're right. We're making predictions. We're thinking what we think that is in our head as we go along. Oh. Let me... No, said Yellow Mouse on Wednesday. Okay, so Yellow Mouse disagrees. He said it's not a snake. Amy. It's a spear. He was the third in turn. Not a snake, it's a spear. The fourth was Purple Mouse. He went on Thursday. It's a great cliff, he said. Orange Mouse went on Friday. The 5th to go. It's a fan, he cried. I felt it move. So I want you to think about the perspective of each mouse as we're going on here. Did it look like they all went onto the same part of what it was? No, it's all looking, they're all different parts of it. And so they're all coming up with different things that it must be. Do you think any of them is going to see the whole or figure out the whole thing? We'll see. Let's see, because so far, each one has a different perspective. They have a different part that they are feeling, and so a different part that they're trying to figure out. But it's all part of one big thing, and we'll see if together they can figure out what it is. The 6th to go was Blue Mouse. The 6th to go was Blue Mouse. He went on Saturday and said, it's nothing but a rope. Nothing but a rope. But the others didn't agree. Remember, because they each went on a different part and they each had a different perspective of what that was, right? They began to argue. A snake, a rope, a fan, a cliff. Until on Sunday, White Mouse, the 7th mouse, went to the pond. Good morning. Hello. We're going to have a good morning day. All right? I'm excited. All right, Jimmy, we're talking about how all these different mice went on different parts of this thing, and they all thought it was something different. And so we're talking about perspective and how it can change as to where you are. And we're going to see if the 7th mouse, the white mouse, can solve the argument on what this thing is. When she came up upon the something, she ran up one side and down the other. She ran across the top and from end to end. So does it sound like maybe she's getting to see, to explore the whole something instead of just part of the something? Do you think that's going to give her a better idea of what this something might be? Yeah. Ah, now I see, said the white mouse. The something is as sturdy as a pillar, supple as a snake, wide as a cliff, sharp as a spear, breezy as a fan, stringy as a rope. But all together, the something is Louise, if that's going to be your distraction, then you need to put them all away. Okay? We're not building towers in our beverages. That's not appropriate. You can put them away. Hayden, your water bottle's way over here. It needs to be by you, my darling. The something is an elephant. And when the other mice ran up one side and down the other across the something from end to end, they agreed. Now they saw too. Right? So that showed us how important it was to not just be a part of something and be like, look, it's something, right? But to try to figure out the whole something. From looking at one end to the other, up and down, across, right? You need to take off that hood, please, and thank you. Mouse moral. Knowing in part may make a fine tale, but wisdom comes from seeing the whole. Now, first graders, we had been talking about folk tales and how they teach a story, right? Or teach a lesson, in their story. They teach a lesson. And the lesson from this one, it says right here, the moral, which is another word for lesson, the moral, knowing in part may make a fine tale, right? It was fine when they were like, oh, it's a snake, or it's a spear, it's a rope, okay? They made a fine story for the others. But wisdom comes from seeing the whole, from making sure you know what it is, not just jumping to conclusions. Okay. All right. That is our story for the day. Fun.